You, my friend, have the power of the universe at your disposal. It's with your word, it's with your voice. It's how you speak, it's the words that you use and what you mean by them. The universe, the angels are constantly listening for what you say because they understand that you are a part of the divine and what you say is a prayer. Every word you speak is a meditation. Every word you pronounce is a commandment out into all that is. Think about the vibration or the frequency of the sound that you make as you speak. Think about the ripples across the pond of existence, of reality, of the universe as we know it, and how it ripples out and has the butterfly effect on everything that it touches. And it eventually touches everything, even though it might slowly dampen the actual frequency of it. It's still going out there. Angels are actually waiting at your lips to hear what you say, to go out and create. If you say, I am wealthy, or I am healthy, they create that as so. If you say, I am poor, or if I am sick, they do the same. And our brains actually do the same thing as well. One of our powers of our brain is to substantiate everything that we proclaim. When we say the I am statement, when we identify with something, it is our brain's job to collaborate with that and to give all evidence that that is also true. That's how the brain keeps itself sane, by actually substantiating the reality that you're speaking into existence. It creates that existence. It creates that reality. It actually builds the next moment that you're in. The words that you speak frame your experience in the next moment. Whatever you say automatically colors the next moment, the next precious moment that you're in. And if you keep using the same words over and over again over an extended period of time, it creates your reality and your personality. So it's very important to listen to the words that you say. Listen to the words that you use. Listen to how you speak. Listen to what you bring into existence. Because we try to keep ourselves, a lot of times when we are in a lower state, we hide behind these walls. We keep ourselves protected. I know that when I was in my depressed, anxious state, the way that I framed myself, the way that I kept myself safe, the way that I felt love was by being that depressed, anxious person, and I would keep myself there. I would find reasons that would collaborate as to why I was that and why I should be that. And I would stay in that existence so that I would know who I was. I did not know who I was outside of that frame of reference. And Marianne Williamson talks about how we're not afraid of our darkness. We're afraid of our lightness. We're afraid of how powerful we truly are. We're afraid of that power because when we show up in that, then who are we in that? Who are we in that moment? We already know who we are as that scared, fearful individual, as that small, tiny voice. We already know who we are, what our limits are, what we can and shouldn't do, what happens when we do this certain thing, what doesn't, and what we will be protected from. And what we're actually protected from is the unknown, the scary unknown, because the unknown is always scary. We don't ever know. It's why you see so many people on social media. They love just to go out and pop everybody's bubble. There might even be somebody that makes a comment on this video right now that says something about, how this isn't true or whatever. And if they truly felt like that, then why don't they just make a video talking about their truth? Do you know why they won't do it? Because they're too scared. They're too scared to have somebody else pop their bubble. And I'm leaning into a time where I just have to speak. I can't not speak the truth that I know that is dwelling within me and is just waiting and bursting to come out. And I also know that that's going to trigger some people. and that's just where they are. But the only thing that I'm in control of is how those triggers are in me. That is the only thing that I'm in control of. And that is what I will constantly be asking myself. And I do ask myself when I'm triggered by something, maybe a comment or something someone does or says, I'm like, what inside of me is being awoken right now? What inside of me needs to be looked at? What inside of me needs healing and presence and mercy and forgiveness? And how can I move forward in that? An angel that can help us with that is Zadkiel. And he is one of these 7 archangels, and he's in charge of mercy and forgiveness and peace. And when we are able to give mercy and forgiveness first to ourselves and other people, that's when we truly can start to attain peace. I recently, this past June, through a tantric workshop, realized that I was finally able to begin the journey of forgiveness for my stepfather's abuse towards my invalid brother. That was something I did not think I would ever be capable of. And the interesting thing that I discovered when I decided I was ready to give that forgiveness was what I was afraid of looking at was the shame and guilt within me. The shame and guilt that I had held because I believed as the older brother, as the abled brother, so to speak, that it was my job to protect him. And that obviously since he'd had abuse, I had not done my job. And therefore there was something shameful that I should be guilty of. And I realized that I had to turn around once I decided to go on that forgiveness journey, that it was me that I had to actually start forgiving. That was the whole thing of it. It wasn't that I was afraid or not wanting to forgive him. It was that I was afraid to look at something I needed to forgive and let go of in me. And that's a journey that I'm on right now. But it was just interesting how that is always the way it is. You know, whenever we are angry at someone, we're never really angry at them. We're angry at ourselves for the trigger that comes up. We're angry at some shame usually or guilt that we have within ourselves. And the mindful, conscious person is always looking at the things that trigger them to understand what that trigger is about and what healing needs to happen in that moment. And so much of that begins with our words. There's so many times, even in our scriptures, where it talks about, and I'm talking about all types of scriptures, not just necessarily Jewish or Christian based, where it talks about the power of the word, how the word began everything, and how the word builds our reality, the word builds our house, and how the word can either destroy or build. It has the power to do either one. And it really speaks back to how with our God source, however you think about the universe, Muhammad, Allah, Jesus, however you think of it, Buddha, it doesn't matter, how there is really at the end of the day to that higher level, there really is no good and bad. There just is all that is. We're the ones that decide what is good and bad, what is preferred and not preferred. And that's why we have the power with our words to really create anything, to create or destroy. And it's up to us to realize and become conscious of that power. It's a great, awesome, humbling power to have. It's an amazing privilege and a huge responsibility. So before you use your words for the next moment, think about the effect those words will have on yourself, on those around you, on the world. Begin to decide for yourself who you are going to be, who you are, how you want to present, what are your intentions and focuses. How would you like to be conveyed to the world? What is it that you want to create? Or what is it that you want to destroy? Be mindful with your words, because your words are creating your next new moment and those that love around you as well. It's an awesome power, and it's also a scary power, but you have it, and you are wielding it. And I ask that you become conscious and mindful of it. If anybody's triggered by anything that I say here, if you want to comment, go ahead. Those are your words. But I invite you to create your own video for you to be out there. Put your face and your voice out there with what you truly believe, and allow others to comment on yours as well. Love, peace, and release.